and welcome to the Sew Essential vlog. Today I'm going to talk to you about sewing machines, which is something we get very excited about here at Sew Essential. Buying a new sewing machine can be a very exciting but also very daunting prospect because there is so much choice out there now, so many different makes and models and features. It can be quite overwhelming trying to decide which one is the best one for you. So in this video I'm going to take you through a series of steps that we go through with our customers to help them navigate all of that choice and choose their perfect sewing machine. So what qualifies us to be able to do this? Well, we are a specialist sewing machine dealer, so our staff are trained and experienced in sewing machines. They've worked with everything from the basic treadle machines right up to the most up-to-date computerized sewing machines on the market today. We've got a showroom here in Derbyshire where we absolutely love demonstrating sewing machines to our customers, and you're very welcome to come in and have a look at a variety of different sewing machines and try them out. We are proud stockists of the market leaders Brother, Janome, Husqvarna, Pfaff and Elna machines. We understand though that not everybody will be able to get to our Derbyshire showroom, so you are able to purchase sewing machines through our website, but we also understand that it's a very considered purchase for most people. So if this is something you'd like to look into, we're more than happy to have as many phone calls or emails as it takes for you to raise any concerns, ask any questions, and we absolutely love answering them for you. We love nothing better than having a natter on the phone about a sewing machine and talking you through the options. So please do get in contact if it's something that you're interested in. I should also mention as well that if you do buy a sewing machine through our website, you're eligible for all the same guarantees and warranties that you would be in a bricks and mortar store. You're also eligible for the same excellent after-sales support. So we are here as trained, experienced specialists. We are here to support you after that purchase as well. You're also eligible for all the same great offers and deals that you see out there on the market and in bricks and mortar stores. And we're more than happy to support you with finding the best deal. So there is actually a page on our website where all the most up-to-date sewing machine deals are in one place. But also if you see an offer out there that you're interested in and you'd like to discuss with us, please do get in contact because we won't be beaten on price and we want to help you find your perfect sewing machine. The first question we ask our customers is, are you a beginner or an experienced sewist? If you're an experienced sewer, what we suggest is that you look at your current machine and you think about what is it lacking, what do I wish it could do that it doesn't, what do I wish it could do better. This will help you to come up with a wish list, and we can go through that with you to identify a sewing machine that ticks all the boxes. We can also look at that list and make you aware of other options and features that you might be interested in. If you're a beginner sewist, you're probably looking at very basic, simple machines. However, what we always say to people is do consider not just your current capabilities, but where you think you might progress to. If you're very committed and keen and you really want to make a go of sewing as a hobby, then it's worth considering a machine that goes beyond your current capabilities, because you will be able to grow with the machine and you will get better value for money that way. If you go for the most simple model and you very quickly progress, you're very quickly going to outgrow that model and you will be looking to upgrade, which can cost you more in the long run. So it's definitely worth thinking about not just your current capabilities, but how you see your future capabilities progressing as well. The third thing we discuss with our customers is, what will you use the sewing machine for? Will it be mostly dressmaking? Will it be patchwork and quilting? Or will you be working mostly on soft furnishings? But once again, we always say to people to try and see a little bit ahead of where they are now. Do you envisage yourself branching out into one of these other areas? Because if that's the case, we can take that into account when helping you to choose a machine. And again, you'll get better value for money and that machine will satisfy your needs for far longer. So I'm going to talk you through the key features to look out for depending on your discipline of choice. All of these features will be in our detailed product descriptions on our website. As I mentioned earlier, the links are below. So if dressmaking is your thing, here are the key features to look out for. Firstly, buttonholes. How does the machine create a buttonhole? On the cheaper lower end machines, generally it will come with a 4-step buttonhole where you have to manually measure and mark the buttonhole on the fabric and follow a series of 4 steps to create the buttonhole. Often you only need to spend marginally more and you'll be able to get a machine with what's called a 1-step buttonhole. And with these machines, there's a special foot that you attach to the machine, and the measuring and the marking and the creation of the buttonhole happens in an automatic way, and it all happens in 1 step. So it's much easier, it's much quicker, and it's much easier to get better accuracy as well. It is a real game changer once you start working with a 1-step buttonhole. If you're used to a 4-step, you'll be amazed at what a difference it makes. So that's definitely something to consider. The next thing to consider is what feet are available for that particular machine. So generally, the more you spend, the more feet you get in the box with the machine, but it's worth looking at as well what feet are available to buy at a later date. And this is where buying from a specialist dealer and buying a recognised brand comes in, because there will be a whole host of other feet available for many of the machines. We've got all of the accessories and feet on our website for all of the brands that we stock, and we've got compatibility charts there as well, so you can check that they are compatible with your machine. But again, this will help you to get much more value for money out of your machine. If you're able to buy additional feet, it will prevent you from outgrowing your machine too quickly. So good ones to look out for dressmaking are an invisible zipper foot, a bias binding foot, and an overcasting foot. The next thing to consider is the stitches that are available on the machine. So good stitches to look out for dressmaking are a stitch for knit or jersey fabrics, a blind hem stitch, and also a good overcasting stitch for neatening seams if you haven't got an overlocker. Finally, the next consideration we talk to people about is whether you want a machine with multiple needle positions. So what this means is the needle can be moved several positions to the left or to the right. This is really useful when you're completing tasks such as inserting zips and you want to get closer or further away from the teeth, but also top stitching where you want real accuracy. Generally, this feature is available on computerized machines, but it's definitely something worth considering if you're into dressmaking. If you're going to be working on soft furnishings, the key consideration is how frequently will you be doing that. If you're only going to be working with heavy upholstery fabrics and you're going to be doing that repeatedly, you will need to look at buying a machine with a more powerful motor, because a machine with a less powerful motor just isn't designed to cope with those heavy fabrics over and over again. And we've got lots and lots of machines on the website that will be able to meet that criteria, and we're happy to discuss those with you. If, however, you think you'll probably be doing a bit of dressmaking, a bit of patchwork and quilting, and then the occasional soft furnishings, any of the machines will be fine for that purpose. If you're going to be mostly patchwork and quilting, here are our key considerations for you. Firstly, the space under the arm of the machine. So by that, I mean the gap between the needle bar and the other side of the machine. On the machines behind me, you can see that this lower end machine has a relatively small space under the arm, whereas the Husqvarna Designer Ruby at the other end has a much larger gap under the arm. Clearly this is important because working on projects such as quilts and larger projects, it just makes it much easier to get the fabric through the machine and feed it through the machine because you've got more space for it to pass through. Generally, we recommend looking for a machine with at least an 8-inch or 200mm gap under the arm. And again, all of that information is in our detailed product descriptions. The next consideration is what feet are available for that machine. A 1/4-inch foot is really important for patchwork because all patchwork is done with 1/4-inch seams, and accuracy is really important. Another foot that you'll want to consider is the availability of a walking foot. The way a walking foot works is it ensures that the multiple layers of fabric and batting or wadding that you'll be working with on patchwork and quilting projects feed through the machine evenly, so you don't end up with your layers of fabric moving as you stitch and pass the quilt or the project through the machine. Some of the faff machines actually come with what's called the built-in IDT system, which works in the same way as a walking foot, so that's worth looking out for as well. Finally, stitches are really important for patchwork and quilting. You may want to add that extra pizzazz to your patchwork project or your quilt and add some really nice fancy decorative stitches. So having a look at what stitches are available on that machine is a must. If you're really into your patchwork and quilting, the computerized machines and the computerized embroidery machines have some incredible stitch choices, and you also will have the ability to reduce or enlarge the size of the stitch, create stitch sequences, change the direction of the fancy stitches, and so many other options, so they're definitely worth having a look at as well. The fourth thing we discuss with our customers is the type of sewing machine that's right for you. So there's 4 main types that I'll talk you through: mechanical machines, machines with a digital screen, computerised sewing machines, and computerised embroidery and sewing machines. So the mechanical machines are the most basic, and this is an example behind me. It's a Husqvarna Emerald machine, and you use dials on the machine to select the different stitch options and the stitch length. Slightly more advanced are machines with a digital screen, such as this Janome machine, where you use the buttons to select the different options which are presented to you on the digital screen. Sometimes these machines will also come with a few extra features as a reflection of the additional cost. So things to look out for are a stop-start button, which allows you to stop and start sewing without using a foot control. So very useful for anybody with mobility issues or who is unable to use a foot control. And there also sometimes is the option for what's called needle up down, and this allows you to select whether you would like the needle to be down or whether you would like it to be raised when you finish stitching. And you might wonder, what would I use that for? But being able to finish with the needle down is very useful for when you're pivoting round corners or when you want things to stay in place, such as when you're doing a plique. So they're definitely things to look out for. Go up another level and you'll be looking at the computerised sewing machines. These sewing machines have the ability to adapt stitch sizes, create stitch sequences, flip stitches, and just generally have a lot more options for stitches and a lot more stitches available. They often also come with other really fancy features, such as built-in scissors, which will cut the thread for you when you finish stitching, and also the ability to choose which fabric you're working with, which then allows the machine to automatically select the correct tension, and it will even tell you which feet and which needles to use to sew with that particular type of fabric. So they're just some of the fancy features. There's a whole other raft of features that you may find on computerised sewing machines that are worth looking out for. Go up another level and the computerised sewing and embroidery machines do all of the things that the computerised sewing machines do, but they also have the ability to create embroidery within a hoop. You can flip and rotate stitches, you can resize stitches, you can merge stitches. There's so many possibilities with these machines. And they've come a really, really long way in the last 10 years. It's not just about embroidery anymore. You can do hard anger, you can do cross stitch, you can make lace, you can do cut work. There are so many possibilities with these machines, and for many of our customers, these machines are really worth looking at. And some of the projects that people work on include bed linen, soft furnishings, children's clothes, adults' clothes. You know, the possibilities are endless with these machines. If you are interested in one of them, one of the things to look out for is what is the maximum size of hoop you can use with that machine. Because if you get into embroidery and you get the embroidery bug like everybody has here at Sew Essential, you will want to progress onto bigger and bigger designs, and having a bigger hoop or the ability to work with a bigger hoop means that you don't have to re-hoop as often, and it's easier to create those bigger designs. Finally, we talk about budget, and you might think it's strange to leave that until the end, but we find it's a much better way to identify a machine that is really right for you and has got all of the features that you're looking for. Once we've gone through all the different features and we've talked about the different options, you've chosen a machine that is out of budget, we can always work with you to identify the less important features to get you back in budget. And just some last words of advice, it's always better to buy from a specialist sewing machine dealer such as Sew Essential. The staff are trained and experienced and will be able to guide you through the process of choosing the right sewing machine, but they'll also be there for that all important after sales support as well. You might have queries, you might have concerns, you might have forgotten how to do something, and we'll always be there at the end of the phone, or you can pop in and we'll be happy to help you. If you're looking to buy a sewing machine for a child, we recommend buying a basic adult machine rather than a toy machine, because generally the toy machines are quite limited in capability and they can also be quite unreliable as well. Whatever sewing machine you choose, it's always recommendable to use a good quality thread, and we've got a huge range of good quality threads on our website. All of the links are below. We've got a really vast range of sewing machines, as I've mentioned, and all of the brands I've mentioned are all available on our website. Just look on the links below. And then finally, if you've got any questions, you want to talk about anything that I've discussed in the video today, or you're not sure or you just need a bit of advice, please give us a call. Please get in contact via email, because we're always happy to help. So that's everything from me today. If you like what you've seen, please like and subscribe, and I shall see you next time.